Hello, and welcome to the full moon for September. Um, Equinox is just around the corner, and today, as I was thinking about what I wanted to communicate about, what I wanted to talk to about, what I wanted to put out in the universe, I was thinking back, over the last month. And of course, it has been an interesting, weird month, but I believe it's been kind of an interesting, weird year or decade so far. Definitely a lot of things we are exploring about ourselves and individually and as a group. Regardless, I was, looking back, and the thing that kept coming up, the thing that I have thought most this month, in between all the little emergencies and anxieties, was that I was grateful for all the ways I'm me and all the little things that I get to do because I have decided to be myself. And that it didn't matter what other people did, either as a ritual or as a job or at the end of the day in their house. It didn't matter what other people did to feel healthy or happy or wealthy or de-stressed. It mattered what I did. And so I was thinking about it and how I wanted to express my gratitude for me, being me. And now we're at the end of the day. And I'm actually even more grateful that I am me, because today I had a doctor's appointment, as one does. And regardless of the reason for going into the doctor, it is intrusive. Right off the bat, you walk in the door, they want to know your name and your birthday, and you're sitting in a room and all these other people are not quite staring at you and you're not quite staring at them, and you have to fill out all these pieces of paper if it's your first time in that particular office. And then you go in and there's more questions and more personal information that goes to some stranger that you probably never even met before. And then you're in the doctor's office themselves, and they're poking and they're prodding and, checking things. It is intrusive. So while I was in the waiting room, I'm like, I always get a little anxious, because, a doctor's office, 50-50 for me. And so I decided, I'm going to focus on what I want to write about or talk about tonight. And so I sat and did a quick typing up of all the things I'm grateful for. And then I went into the doctor's office and got poked and prodded, and it always feels invasive. So, by the time I was done, and then I had to go grocery shopping, and I got home, and it was kind of like touching a bruise. You kind of ache all over, or I do, emotionally. It just, no matter how much there's preparation, there's always the worry that there's going to be something, and there's always the let down that the weight on the scale isn't less or isn't more, depending on where you wish to be. And And, you know, there's always that point where they say, yeah, you're doing pretty good for your age. And you're like, oh my God, wait a minute. I don't know how to take that anymore. So it is always, for me, a little traumatic to go to the doctor's office. But because I had already written down what I wanted to talk about, written down the things I was grateful for myself, I already know what I'm going to say. And so I don't need to meander about how intrusive it was, or at least not any more than I already have. And I don't need to meander about how difficult it is to overcome things or to work through things. I can just go back to the gratitude because I'd already said it. I was already focused on it. There in the doctor's office, I was already working on it. So I didn't need to come up with anything else that I wasn't perhaps feeling in the moment. And so because I'd already done it, I'm actually really feeling it again. I am really grateful that I am me, and that, well, here are the things I wrote. Lately, I am really grateful that I am being me as hard as I can be. There's still a lot, still a few attributes to adjust or work or practice with, whatever, to keep with the happiness. But I love that I am a person who looks out into nature and finds friends. I love that I see magic and miracles every day. And I even love my anxiety feelings, which I was definitely feeling at the time I was writing this, because the anxiety is only sometimes. And I know now that they're not all the time feelings, so I know that there's more beyond it. And I really, really love when I allow myself to try things just to see how it works, which means making mistakes, but I'm learning that's okay. And I have discovered some amazing things about myself. Like, I enjoy putting things away and tidying up when I know where everything goes. It's kind of like a puzzle, putting things back into place. I love bookkeeping because I know the process. I love that the more I slow down and follow the steps, the more competent I feel, and the more confident I feel, and the more I trust myself and the happiness process. Cycles are not just vicious, they are celebratory. And because I had written that in the doctor's office, and I knew that after the doctor's I would be, there's not a good word anymore. It's not anxious. It's not depressed, but it can kind of feel depressed because there's kind of a withdrawing and a desire to go hug my unicorn, which I did. And I'm glad I'm a person that can do that. But you know, you kind of just want to get it off me. Amazing doctor, kind people, just invasive. And I am now back into the gratitude for me, that I have all these things in my life, that I am willing to be this kind of person who stares at the clouds, who makes videos just to communicate with the universe. A person who is anxious and then is not. I am really, really glad that I am the kind of person who comes up with cool phrases like celebratory cycles and contributing to the harmony of the universe, which is my phrase for the week. I'm really glad for all the permissions I've given myself, and I'm really glad for all the ways I've said no. And I know, even if tomorrow is a difficult day, for even 5 minutes, I know that there will also be amazing things, and that every day is better and better. So on this full moon, I celebrate me, and I give thanks to all the beings and people and energies that have helped me, led me, contributed to my cycle of celebration. And I hope that we all are able to celebrate more than less, that we are able to see more to celebrate than we see things to not celebrate. Right? It's sometimes weird, the language, trying to keep the focus on the positive. So anyway, I hope you're having a fabulous day. I hope you are having a fabulous year, and that you know, because I know, that we are held, we are loved, and there is so much that we can be grateful for ourselves. Sounded a little preachy at the end. Sorry. I'm trying not to do that anymore. I am grateful for me. Thank you. Thank you, universe.